All right, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, it's Tim Charles here from Ne Obliviscaris. I play violin and sing in the band, and we're here in Syracuse, New York.
All right.
Now you guys are on an off date for a tour with Winter Sun?
That's right. So we've been touring with Winter Sun for the last 4 or 5 weeks. And, you know, we've been trying as much as we can when we have a day off to play to some extra people. So that's why we're here in Syracuse for a headline show.
And this is your second time in the U.S. playing?
This is our fourth time.
Fourth time, okay.
But we only came for the very first time in January 2016, where we were opening for Cradle of Filth. And then we did a headline tour about 4 months after that. And then we were here at the end of last year for our own headline tour. And then here we are again.
Wow, okay.
But we've never been here to Syracuse, though.
And you're from, where in Australia, Melbourne?
Melbourne, Australia.
Is everyone from Melbourne?
4 of us are from Melbourne. Our lead guitarist Benji is from Bordeaux in the south of France. And Martino, our bassist, is from Italy.
Oh,
so we
okay.
have like 1/3 European membership now.
And how do you do that?
We tour a lot, so we see each other like half the year anyways. I mean, you know, we all have like home recording stuff, so, you know, when we're writing stuff, we're often sending demos back and forth that we can talk to each other, contribute that way. Before, you know, we started touring on this record, you know, the tour started in San Francisco, and we got there 3 days early for rehearsals in San Francisco. So we all came early, had a few days rehearsal, but everyone's just basically expected to practice a lot. You know, so that you turn up for the tours and you know your shit.
Yeah, especially with the complexity of your music, it seems like you would have to really, really know what you're doing.
Yeah, you definitely can't turn up and not have prepared, otherwise you've got to fall flat on your face.
Where'd you come up with the name?
I mean, Ne Obliviscaris is from the Latin for forget not. Zen was the one who had the idea for that as a name. I mean, the reason we chose it was that we liked the idea of a name, I guess, that had a bit more depth to it, a bit more meaning beyond just like this stereotypical whatever band names. And so, yeah, I mean, that's the headspace we were in at the time.
It stands out, but do people have problems with it? I'm sure it gets misspelled a lot.
It does get misspelled quite a bit. I mean, when the band first started, people would bring it up all the time, like, oh, fuck, how do you pronounce it? Ne Obliviscaris, you know. But these days, I mean, as we've gotten more well known, I mean, I think, you know, people get used to how to say it. It's not really that complicated. It is
how it
much,
sounds.
Yeah, it is like, you know, you pronounce it how it looks. You just have to take it a syllable at a time. But you know, like online, you know, we always just even, you know, amongst ourselves, you know, we'll just always, you know, talk about the band as, you know, as Neo, like amongst ourselves, just because it's quick, you know, like people call me Tim instead of Timothy. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And so, you know, you see a lot of fans writing that online. You know, I'm off to a Neo show tonight, that sort of stuff. So that works too.
Okay.
How long have you guys been around as a band?
The band first started in 2003, but it was 2006 before we played our first gig. We did a demo in 2007, and it wasn't until 2012 till we did our first record. So, you know, it was a long, long way just to get somewhere. And then, you know, when we finally got Portal Vi out in 2012, finally things started to fall into place for the band. And since then, you know, it's really been huge strides, you know, every year and with every album.
So there was one self-released album, and the other two have been on Season of Mist?
The first album was through my record label in Australia, Welcome Records, and then we had it out through Code 666, which is an Italian record label.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
And so, you know, obviously a smaller label, but, you know, that still meant that we had a little bit of help in getting it out internationally, which was good. And then, yeah, Season of Mist for the last 2 records, and the next one too.
Nice. So you're already working on the next one?
Yeah, yes. We still have a while to go, but we have a few cool ideas in the works.
How does the songwriting come together?
It's pretty varied. Probably the most common thing is, you know, someone like, say, Benji might write 4 or 5 minutes of music and come to the band, and the band will then flesh that out into a finished like 10 or 23-minute song, or, you know, however long it ends up being. You know, sometimes, like, you know, with the track like Earn, you know, Earn Part 1, a lot of the rhythm guitars for that were done by Benji, and he started Earn Part 2, and then got stuck, and then Matt and I basically then finished like the last 4 minutes, you know. So there's a lot of that happens, you know. A couple people in the band come up with an idea, 3-4 minutes, and they're like, hey, I'm stuck, who else has an idea? And then someone else in the band might then have an idea of what to do next. So yeah, it's pretty collaborative, and it definitely a mixture between us doing stuff in the same room and jamming, combined with just people doing stuff at home and then sending it through and seeing how it goes.
Of course, if most bands had 3 or 4 minutes, they'd be going, oh no, we're good, that's the song.
Yeah.
And you guys are starting.
I'm like, okay, cool, we finished the intro.
The vocals didn't start till 4 minutes in.
Yeah.
What is the lineup now? How long has this been a stable lineup?
This lineup, excluding Martino, only joined the band about 12 months ago. But excluding him, everyone else has been in the band for a long time. 2008 is when Benji joined the band, and everyone else has been in the band at least through then. So Zen and I from 2003, Matt 2004, Dan 2005, Benji 2008. So most of the band's been been part of this for like 10 to 15 years, and Martino's just the new guy.
Okay. Are you all classically trained, or?
No, Benji's got a little bit of training. Martino has a little bit of training. I went to study at Classical Conservatorium. I was going to do classical violin, maybe join an orchestra. I got a bit distracted. But the rest of the guys, Zen, Dan, and Matt are all pretty much like self-taught musicians. Aside from maybe a few lessons here and there.
What bands have you toured with besides Cradle of Filth and Winter Sun?
In the U.S., as far as you mean support tours or just in general, or
just tours in general.
Yeah, in the U.S., we had some really cool bands opening up for us, like Black Crown Initiate, Allegiant, Starkill. In Europe, we did a headline tour. We had Allegiant on that package as well. We did a European tour with Cradle of Filth, and also we did a tour with Enslaved, and we also had Oceans of Slumber, a really cool band from Texas, opening that package.
Oceans of Slumber, great.
Yeah, so that was really cool. That was Enslaved, us, and Oceans of Slumber, that European tour, which was a lot of fun because I love both those bands. So it was really fun just getting to watch, two great bands every night.
I saw Enslaved with Dimmu probably like 7-8 years ago.
Sure.
I've never watched Oceans of Slumber yet, but I hope to come through.
Sure. Yeah, no, very good band live too. Tammy's there, amazing.
Where does the lyrical inspiration come from?
I don't write any of the lyrics. Zen, they all come from his twisted mind. Because when the band first started, I didn't do any singing. I just played violin, and then we slowly introduced clean vocals over time. Originally, because there would be like a whole 12-minute song with just like 2 lines of clean vocals. So Zen would do all the lyrics, and we'd work out. I'd often give him a melody, and he'd kind of work out the lyrics for that. And even though I've been doing more, his style is so distinctive, and I think fits the band and the music very well. We kind of kept it that way.
Nice. You have 3 full lengths, 3 EPs, right?
Yes.
Okay. Next one going to be a full length? Probably. Well, even your EPs have fairly long songs, so.
Yeah, we'll see whatever we come up with. It's, when we're doing creative stuff, it's often spur of the moment. We might plan, oh yeah, we're going to do something like this. It comes out totally different, so.
What's been some of your best moments playing in the band?
Just getting the opportunity to tour internationally. In Australia, I guess it was, when we first started to get quite a lot bigger and start playing like 1,000-cap rooms and having really a lot of people come out to our shows was pretty exciting, because I never really thought that with the sort of weird music we have that we would ever get more than 200-300 at a show. I thought that was like amazing for a band that was kind of as different as us. So when we started playing, 1,000-cap rooms, having 700-8 people at a show, that I didn't really think that was possible, and that kind of changed the way I viewed the band in our career, because we thought, oh, if we do this in Australia, why can't we do it in Europe and the US? And that's pretty much the goal. But getting to play some big European festivals like Hellfest and Grasspop was pretty amazing, just to be playing alongside so many bands that I love.
Right.
And same with every tour. I love Winter Sun. I love Enslaved. I love Cradle of Filth. Like just getting to play with bands you have a lot of respect for, and get to visit so many places around the world is definitely a privilege.
Okay, what's been like your favorite show so far? Do you have one that
on this
out?
tour?
Sure.
Probably Toronto just a couple days ago. The crowd was really, really crazy. We had it was a really big crowd, and it was very, very crazy. Probably the other one was we had a sold-out show in Mexico City at the start of this tour, because we had a week in Mexico before we met up with Winter Sun, and And the Mexico shows were really crazy. We'd never been there before, so you kind of think, oh, we've never been here before, maybe 100 people might turn up. And, we had this packed, sold-out venue, and we ended up adding a second show in Mexico City. And
Nice.
so we're like, oh, wow, we better come back here, because a lot of people came. So, that was definitely an eye-opener to that opportunity there.
What's the weirdest thing that's happened to you touring?
Weirdest thing. I don't know what's weird, but I mean, all sorts of crazy things happen, like leaving people at bus stops in the middle, truck stops in the middle of the night, and
Intentionally or accidentally?
accidentally.
Okay.
It actually happened when we were on the Enslaved tour. It was Ivar from Enslaved got left, and he didn't take his phone, so it was about an hour later before he managed to borrow someone's phone to call the tour manager to get the bus to come back.
Oh,
to
that
pick him up.
sucks.
Oh God.
But I mean, we've had some pretty crazy stories with lost luggage. We played a show we had a headline show in London, and I think it was 9 out of our 11 pieces of luggage got left in Belgium. We had like 2 flights, and they all got left there. And so we had this show, and we didn't have guitars, we didn't have cymbals, and so we're all this high gear, and we're like, okay, cool, we need like a left-handed 7-string guitar from Benji. It's not very easy to find. We managed to find a 6-string left-handed guitar. It's like, oh yeah, Portal of Idols on 6-string. We can play those songs. We just can't play anything off Citadel because this was on that album. So we managed to get all this high stuff, had it all at the venue, did sound check and everything like that. And we're like, okay, cool. I guess we just have to do like all the old songs tonight. We'll just do all the old songs, and we can't do any of the new stuff because we don't have the 7-string guitar. And then about 45 minutes before we went on stage, all of the stuff arrived from the airport just beforehand, and all of a sudden the show could go on as normal. So
Wow.
Lots of stuff like that where, just the reality of touring, you get lots of near misses and shit that doesn't go to plan, and you just got to roll with it and hope that you can make it work in the end.
Where should people follow you guys? What's most updated?
Instagram, Facebook, we're sometimes on Twitter as well. But we're all the time on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Otherwise, on Patreon as well. We're on Patreon.
Yeah, talk about that for a minute. What do you do with the Patreon?
Sure, we got about 1,100 people on there at the moment who basically contribute on like a monthly subscription. We do literally straight after this tonight, I got to film about a half an hour video response to about 20-30 interview questions from members.
Right.
Who each month we do have a different member who gets interviewed by the fans on Patreon, and we do a lot of behind the scenes tour diaries, and everyone on there got a free digital copy of our new album, Earn, when it came out last year. We do VIP meet and greets with those members, all sorts of different stuff. And basically we use that money to finance most of our career, honestly. It's probably about 90% of the money we use to pay for our tours is from Patreon. So that's something pretty important to us.
It's a great system. It really is.
Yeah, it's been working really well for us. I mean, it's the reason why we can tour so much. We're not the biggest band in the world, but it definitely creates this financial base that makes it possible for us to do more touring than a lot of bands at our level.
Awesome. Do you make money doing the tours?
Sometimes now. We used to lose a lot of money on every tour, and then we lost a little bit of money. And then most tours, we make something, but sometimes we might do a 5-week tour and you might make $4,000, and you got 6 people and 5 weeks of touring, and you got $4,000 to split. It's not very much money. Sometimes we have some tours where we've made a bit more, but still not enough to get by, but it's at least enough to contribute to a positive thing for the band. And also, I guess, when you do a tour and you lose 20-30 grand, it's a big deal because you have to wait to get back that money before you can kind of do more touring. So even if you are only making a little bit of money, as long as you can sort out your bills back home, then you can go back on the road again. So.
Nice. When I don't remember which album I first heard. It was quite a few years ago, but I was just blown away. Looked you guys up and went, oh good, they're from Australia. I'll never see them live.
And here we are now.
Yeah, so
right.
I was quite thrilled when I saw this pop up, and it's like, Ne Obliviscaris at Syracuse. So.
Yeah, we try to get as many places as we can, for sure.
That's awesome. Anything else people should know?
Just if you like what you hear, or if you have no idea who we are, head to YouTube or Spotify or Apple Music and check some stuff out. And if you like it, head to Patreon and support us there. Hopefully see you at a show, and see you next time we're in your town.
Nice. Thank you.
No worries. Thanks very much, guys.